What is up, and welcome back to Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers. As always, I am your host, Brandon Silvers, breaking down this insane NBA trade deadline that's going on. Like, I can't even explain it. So the good news is I have someone with me who might be able to, backed by popular demand, former NBA player David Harrison. David, how is it going?
Doing good. Doing really good. Thank you for having me back.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and clear the air. David Harrison, you talked about last time you got a huge family. Are you or are you not related to Nico Harrison?
Well, unfortunately, like I showed you earlier, I have a wonderful Dallas Mavericks jersey that says Harrison on it. But no, I am not related to Nico. Ooh. So I'm very happy right now I'm not related to Nico. But yeah, I was walking down the street down here, and this guy starts yelling out, "Hey man, you're an a-hole!" And I looked down, I had that jersey on. I was like, not Nico, not Nico.
That is hilarious. So let's start there, okay? I woke up to a bunch of messages in the middle of the night. Lakers get Luka, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris. Mavericks get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, a 2029 first-round pick. Jazz get Jalen Hood-Schifino, 2 second-round picks. But obviously the story here, Luka to the Lakers. Have you ever heard of anything like I've been trying to make sense of it ever since it happened, and I am struggling. Can you make any sense of this trade?
I don't think anyone can. You know, you have people are talking about the owners want to move the team, so they're, messing up the franchise. You got, they thought Luka was going to be like the Joel Embiid, constantly hurt and out of shape. None of that makes any sense to make this move. It's funny, if you go to NBA 2K and try to make this trade, the computer wouldn't even let you make the trade, I mean, it's just like, it's so funny. Last time I was talking about Stern, I don't really miss him, but right now, like, honestly, this is a David Stern moment. Like at the end of the day, this is a moment, like just like the Chris Paul trade. Somebody step in and veto it. I mean, honestly, it's one-sided. Dallas was the second best team in the West when they made this trade, and they're saying that they're going to get better with Anthony Davis. I don't see it. So, I mean, it's just like I said, I thought, my non-relative Nico potentially is doing this to save his job. If you can get into a rebuilding scenario, you win 3-4 different years of favor, But I don't think there's any recovering for him. He'll probably end up working for his friend in L.A. after he gets fired.
That guy, he keeps finding job after job. It doesn't really matter what goes on with his life. He just pops up everywhere. And
some people are immortal like that.
That is impressive. How nervous were you that David Stern was going to rise from the dead and you were going to have to deal with him again?
Just reach out of the break.
Just like, like Undertaker style. Just like pop up.
I honestly, I wouldn't be concerned at all. I mean,
you could.
I'm not the one. I'm not Nico. So, but if I were, honestly, like this is the type of tomfoolery that he wouldn't stand for, or unless he orchestrated, because you could argue the Paul Gasol for Kwame Brown trade is pretty bad, but when you look at it, Kwame was in his 5th, 6th year.
He was an established. He still has some room to grow too.
Still had room to grow, exactly. Former number 1 pick, and in Memphis you had Gasol, and they just weren't going anywhere.
Yeah,
and they took the opportunity. Look at they rebuilt. Look at what they have. So it's just like you've seen moves like this, and that one you could say was an insider trade with Jerry West in Memphis with LA, but at the same time, that wasn't so lopsided. You got a center for a center. Who was better? Yeah, Paul Gasol was a better skilled center at the time, but Kwame Brown had potential probably to be just as good, if not better. In his certain particular role.
And it worked out good. Marc Gasol was a part of that trade. Went to Memphis. That worked out pretty good.
Yeah, they got Mark. So like I said, long story short is, like, at the end of this, when you look at it, You have Malik Bridges that commanded 4 first-round picks. You have, you have all these people, and then you have Luka Doncic, who's 25, who's been all NBA pretty much his whole career. He got 1 conditional pick too on top of it. Like it's like top 10 protected or something.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I don't see the value. And you hear the story. Yeah, we went to coffee. We started talking about it. I mean, what was in your coffee? You know what I mean? Like coffee with a bottle of whiskey. That's not coffee. That's just drinking whiskey.
Yeah, this is like the time I'd never had Cuban coffee before, and I was helping some friends open a Cuban restaurant, and they had the guy calibrating the machine. And so I'm just thinking they're handing me these little cups of Cuban coffee. So I'm down in the whole thing, had like 8 of them. And I might have made the trade after the 8th one because I was just something was going on. You're not supposed to do that with Cuban coffee. But yeah, it's like, and the fact too that Nico approached Rob Pelinka with it. I know, like if you get that call as Rob Pelinka, how do you not think you're getting pranked?
Exactly.
Especially, AD's got the new prank show coming out. I'm like, he's trying to get me.
I would say the relationship between Pelinka and Nico was that,
Yeah.
And honestly, he probably said, no effing way. You know what I mean? I don't believe the trade went down like that. I truly believe that there's pressure on some level because this was haphazard. Max value wasn't exchanged on either side. Like with Dallas. Dallas should have got Connect that we were talking about.
Yeah.
They need players like that. So it's just like I don't understand that trade. And if I were to make that trade and I was LA, I would have traded LeBron for Luka. Because you can't have those 2 ball dominant players on the court and make them efficient. And you see what LeBron does. LeBron destroyed Russell Westbrook. People said that dude was done. He should never walk. None of us play basketball. Don't even walk anymore, Russ. Now he's an all-star caliber player in Dallas. So, I mean, it's just like that dynamic. And then this is what it is. If they start beefing, if you're the Lakers, I'm not siding with LeBron. I'm siding with Luka.
Yeah, you got to go with the younger guy.
I can have him for a decade. You know what I mean? So it's just like if they're like, if LeBron orchestrated this, and if he could be the Batman to Luka's Robin, that would be dangerous. But I don't see that being the case.
I think
interesting.
I think you're spot on, and I know that. First of all, we talked. I'm a Lakers fan, and I know the LeBron fans probably be a little sensitive to this, but I know LeBron does get a lot of credit for making players better, and I think that's true. But I think it's true about a specific type of player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's for everybody, and so I am very curious to see how this looks with Luka. Because they both like to have the ball. You did see some of the Luka stuff with Kyrie. That worked, but I wonder if that was more of Kyrie being able to play off the ball.
And I would just say that Kyrie on or off the ball. Kyrie off the ball is dangerous. Kyrie on the ball is dangerous. Like the way he moves, you can see him down there getting open. That's not how LeBron moves. That's not how Luka moves.
Yeah.
So it's. But yeah, Kyrie. Honestly, I thought Kyrie went into the Dallas situation saying everybody in this NBA hates me, and here I'm not the superstar, but I am the superstar. You know what I mean? Like, because in Dallas, it was Luka's team, but like it was just like free for all. You know what I mean? It was just for fun, like a bunch of people just having fun playing each other. It looked like. But now, like I said, with LA, if I'm the Lakers, is this Luka's team or is this LeBron's team? If I'm the Lakers, it's Luka's team. So Luka, who do you want here? Like LeBron, hold on, Luka's talking. I mean, that's the type of problems that are going to manifest in like any team. You can have the greatest championship caliber players, which we had, but if your locker room is dysfunctional, you ain't going nowhere. And this is the type of thing that brings dysfunction in the locker room. There are cliques in the locker room. There's going to be Team LeBron. There's going to be Team Luka. It's just it's going to be on the coaching staff. You're going to see it in the trainers. You're going to see, it's like it's just you're going to call the divide. And then like I said, if I were the Lakers, I would have traded LeBron for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy and Luka is a dangerous combination. But
I do wonder how close we're getting to LeBron moving. And I believe he's got a no trade clause. Don't quote me on that. And he has to approve any move. But it does feel like maybe a little bit of this for the Lakers. Obviously, the big piece is you're getting a 25-year-old superstar.
Superstar, yes.
But also, like, how much of it is, all right, time to move past the LeBron era and look forward.
And when you look at the last time the Lakers went through this with Kobe, Kobe died a Laker, basically,
Yeah.
And there was about the last 4 years of his career, probably should have been traded. But there is those little rare moments of loyalty in sports, and you respect that. And Kobe tried, and he went out there and he played it. The last game he played, you know what I mean? Like he got there and killed it. So, he gave back to what the team gave him. But that was the draft home, baby, you're ours, you've been here all your life team. So that could have been this case for LeBron in Cleveland. It maybe could have been the case for LeBron in Miami. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't see how the Lakers are going to love him the same way. And in the same regard, I can see you getting massive value to put around Luka to bring a championship. Or you can sit and try to ride LeBron out for another, 2-3 years. And like I said, dude, I'm 42. He's 40. I couldn't imagine doing what he's doing at 40.
No, it's ridiculous.
Right. I couldn't imagine doing what he's doing at 40. So it's just like, but, two things undefeated is Father Time and, the other one. So, I mean, it's but, Father Time's going to catch up. And what the Lakers have done, they've put a superstar in the wings. I mean, you look at LA, you've gone from Magic, then you got Shaq, Kobe, then you had Kobe, then you got LeBron. So every instance of them starts with a superstar acquisition. And I think they're starting that transition. This is going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yes. And for the Dallas side, a little bit more, I know. What are your thoughts on
championships? What are you talking about?
Yeah. It's so crazy because they were just in the finals last year. And I know Luka didn't have the greatest finals.
They're second in the West right now.
It's just it kind of reminds me to a much, much lesser extent. But again, this is unprecedented pretty much. But when the Thunder lost to the Heat in the finals, and then they decided they didn't want to pay James Harden.
Yep.
And they're like, all right, come on over, Kevin Martin. And then that was, looking back, probably the beginning of the end for the Thunder, even though obviously they had the series against the Warriors, and then KD went over there. But
we can't talk about that.
No, but just really weird decision making. Is there any universe in which, okay, Kyrie is now the clear-cut ball handler. We've got AD who doesn't want to play center, so we can play him at power forward. Mm-hmm. Mix and match that front court with Gafford, Lively, PJ Washington, who's been very good. You got Klay Thompson there, who isn't what he was, but he's still good. Is there any universe in which they can make this work in the very short term?
I mean, the difference between possibility and probability is kind of what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. In the people you mentioned, 100%. AD, talented player. Kyrie, talented player. The bigs. But when you look at how the bigs were effective, you didn't pass them the ball and they backed down. It was someone penetrated. There was help and a lob. Or someone missed a shot, offensive rebound, dunk. You know what I mean? So the bigs are they can only kind of, like the ones that they have, kind of only play off of a Luka, a person who's going to get attention, or a Kyrie to get attention. AD, from where he initiates, you're not going to want to have that other center because you're just bringing big to big in a double. So it's just like I do not understand what they were looking at. When you look at the dynamic of Dallas's offense, you had two very, very good guards that could create their own shots and demanded help. And then you had players, like you said, Clay. Leave Clay Thompson in the corner open all night. I don't care how terrible you think he's playing now. He's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have all these role players that are being able to fill in the gap, and you saw the result. Western Conference Finals, NBA Finals. And as that, like, the role progresses, if this year you don't win and you have Luka and you have all these things, in my opinion, Nico or Jason Kidd are the people on the chopping block. So that's why I kind of think that this move is like a self-preservation type thing for them in the regards of now I've bought some time to rebuild here, you know? And then like the owners apparently they have some issues and stuff. And it's just so many different factors. But the end result is this trade. So for me personally, the worst trade that I ever experienced was the Steven Jackson for Mike Dunleavy for the Pacers to the Warriors. That was my personal, because
that one's rough.
We traded starters they were on the bench. I mean, Troy Murphy was a great player.
Yep.
They were bench players at the time. We traded starters, you know. And that team was pretty much that same team from that Malice and Palace year, plus Al. We had a championship caliber team, but you're talking about possibility and probability. You know, the probability of us winning it wasn't high enough to try to keep it together. I think the probability of Dallas's team winning it at that core of what they had was high enough to keep it together through thick and thin. I don't know what metric or whatever they saw to think that this move is good, but like I said, if you can't even go on a video game is supposed to be where things aren't real. You know what I mean? You can't even go on a video game and make this trade. There has to be some sort of like
I'm
remedy.
A multi-time MVP in 2K. If that gives you any, like I've got a GOAT case in 2K.
Okay.
So not playing against people, but just the virtual me does.
So, yeah.
So yeah, that's insane. How much of it? Because we're going to talk about a couple of trades that are kind of fitting this mold. How much of it do you think is like a pushback against stars dictating where they're going to go and kind of nuking the team's leverage? Yeah.
I think Dwayne Wade was saying something like that. You know, like 10, 15 years ago, you had players, and you're starting to see this being like the league, you know, the owners, you know, doing things. And I would say, you know, twofold. You have a lot of new owners, and this is a team with new owners that's making this move. You know, so I would say at the end of the day, it's a bit of a power dynamic potentially for this to happen. But you got to understand, Luka isn't the dude. You know, he can be. He has the skill set, but he's not the dude yet. You know, and there's still competition for the dude. Anthony Edwards is in line to be the dude. You know, like that's still a role that's trying to be filled. And right now, like the NBA has a model. We need a superstar. LeBron's 40. Everybody in the world's mad at him for making his team draft his son.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe this will make people forget. I promise you, no one's going to be talking about how bad Bronny is for the next.
I don't know if Luka's got any kids, but come on down. We'll draft them too.
I know. Maybe Luka's making an investment in the future. You know?
Yeah, man. Just absolutely wild. I still have not digested what's gone on. It's unreal.
I can't wait to see the first game when they're healthy. You know, because you know eventually, first game they're going to be like, "Yay, ha ha ha, this is fun." You know what I mean? And then, especially if they're doing well, and the media starts talking about it, that's when it's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, if they do poorly, that's going to be great, you know, because at that point, I think the media is going to go after LeBron. They're not going to go after Luka. But if they do well and they start, you know, favoring LeBron, Luka. What do you mean? Before I came here, they were fifth. Now we're doing well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, and I don't know if Luka has an ego like that. You know, I mean, he has every right to. I mean, with his skill set. But, like, I don't know if he does. But it's going to be interesting when they're both healthy, and just seeing how that dynamic shakes out.
You're right about the new owner thing too, because I was just thinking the craziest trades, which again have not reached this level, but Gobert to Minnesota, those were new owners, and then the Durant and Beal to Phoenix. That was a new owner.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just new owners. I don't know if they want to make a splash. I don't know if they were kind of scared off of paying Luka this huge max. The super max he was going to be eligible for. I don't know what it is about new owners, but I tell you what, if a team has a new owner, you need to your GM needs to get on the phone ASAP, because it is time to get a discount.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, Jimmy went for a disc. I mean, everybody, even not new owners, but going forward, you set a standard in the market. If Luka Doncic commanded, basically, in my opinion, AD is a second tier NBA All-Star. You know what I mean? Like he's an All-Star, like not perennial All-Star, like at seasons like that, but great player. But when you have the ability to have Luka instead of him, and when you look as you're looking forward, you can't say to me defense wins championship. That's why Anthony Davis is here. If that's the truth, you would have traded for Gobert. He's,
Yes.
I mean, It's just like, and then you could have probably kept Luka on offense. You could have got rid of Lively and Goddard or whatever. Like, but at the same time, I don't see how this goes down without a lot of alcohol and under the table money changing hands.
Yeah, it is just so wild. Like something that doesn't feel like it is in reality. Like it feels like some sort of a Black Mirror episode or something where Shams his whole body has been hacked by aliens. I don't know. It's just insane. So let's see. I think we've covered everything we need to cover there, because we're probably never ever going to understand it.
Oh, we're going to talk about the rest of the thing and pivot back to this. I mean,
we're going to be like, well, maybe now we get it. So let's talk about the Jimmy Butler trade. Okay, the Warriors get Jimmy Butler. Heat get Andrew Wiggins, PJ Tucker, who has already been traded to Toronto.
I didn't realize he was still in the league after his foot injury.
Me either. So they moved him to Toronto for Davion Mitchell already. But yeah, PJ Tucker, Kyle Anderson. Pistons get Lindy Waters III, Josh Richardson. Jazz get Dennis Schroeder, who's probably going to be moved again.
Is this his 74th NBA team?
This guy has played for every team.
Has he played for every team yet? I mean,
I
he's
think
getting
3
close.
times over now. I think he's got like his own like NBA store full of jerseys. I can't believe they just keep sending him everywhere. I saw a tweet, I forgot who said it, but they were like, I bet his realtor is a billionaire by now.
Oh my! Dude's like so happy I met this man. So happy.
Have you ever considered moving Dennis Schroeder again? So yeah, the Warriors, they were rumored to be trying to get Kevin Durant again, but Durant was like,
that would have been interesting.
Lose my number. So they end up with Butler, who has been incredibly dramatic, I guess might be the term, trying to get out of Miami.
Yeah.
What does this do for the Warriors? They're a 500 team now. Does this move the needle on their chances any? Or is it kind of the same old, same old?
So Wiggins, to me, was another one of those really good, well-fitting role players. Played defense, had it all. He developed the three. Developed a bit of offense to where he was dangerous. I think Jimmy has all those abilities, and so bubble Jimmy Butler was the greatest basketball player other than PJ Tucker. Bubble PJ Tucker was unstoppable, but bubble Jimmy Butler was amazing. And then you look at a team that he took. I think the Heat were the 10th seed, so they had to play in.
He went to
they
play
lose Tyler Hero, which was their second best player, and they end up going to the NBA Finals. That's Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? And add that to Steph, I think that's a great combination. I hope Jimmy's always been in this situation because there's been other superstars on his team. Everybody's been on his level. Him, Cat, like in Minnesota, they're all the same age. You know what I mean? Now, Steph is an established superstar. So I think Jimmy is going to be it's kind of like what happened to Kyrie in Dallas. I think that could be the potential, with the whole behavior thing.
Yeah.
But, when you look at it, it's, Jimmy acts up when Jimmy's not getting paid. Jimmy just got paid. So if he goes out there and he's bubble Jimmy or like whatever he needs next to Steph, I think that's huge. Everybody's always talking about they have no center. I'm like, guys, Trace Jackson Davis is a center. His dad's name is Dale Davis. Did you ever remember him? Like Chase kid has the bunnies, hops, bounces, blocking shots. He's a center, so use him. You know what I mean? It's like they won it with Andrew Bogut. No offense against that guy, but yeah, you know what I mean? It's just it's like there's that role can be filled. They have that on the team, and with Jimmy Butler out there, I don't understand why they don't get rid of Draymond Green. He is the definition of leukemia. It's just like that. That's getting rid of Clay. I was like, that felt dirty a bit. And getting rid of Clay and keeping Draymond, I was like, that's dumb. That's what I said.
I can't believe that either, because he seems like Draymond is scaring the hose. Like, no one wants to come play because you got Draymond there. Mm-hmm. That's what it feels like to me. And he has been okay. He's been decent as a player, but I don't see how he has been good enough to where you keep him with all these problems. Especially you got Dallas shipping out Luka because he's out of shape. How have you not gotten rid of Draymond Green yet? I don't understand it.
This is the thing. The guy has done a spinning back fist. He's gotten people in headlocks. He's punched his own teammate. Throughout all of this, the response by ESPN and the NBA is basically like, "Oh, Draymond's being Draymond." I sat through this and I was like, "Why couldn't y'all let Ron be Ron?"
That's probably yes.
Like, why couldn't y'all let us be us back then? But Draymond could be Draymond. I'm sorry, Draymond. If you would have fucked around like that, like when I was playing, dude, I would have fucking hurt him. Like that is a different league back then. Like, you don't kick people in the nuts and like you don't do that stuff. Like the stuff he does, he gets away with in this league, and I'm like, dude, because I would be the one getting it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just sitting there, it's like I don't want to do that. So it's just like he's been able to be a bully essentially, and he has that mentality that he's some bully, and he's able to get over on people on the court, and that's. The guy has 4 championships. If he didn't play with Steph Curry, he'd have 0. You can make that statement about a lot of players. But at the same time, I still remember the year where Steph and Clay were both out. That's a year, if you're averaging like 9 as a role player, those 2 guys are out, I think you average like less. So it's just like, I've never understood, other than maybe like he has dirt on the owners or something. But like, I never understood why they hadn't made that move with him. Because, Kevin Durant would probably still be there if he wasn't there.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't get it. But
yeah, I completely agree. I do not understand that. Especially, you've shown you're willing to get rid of people because you you got rid of Clay, you got rid of Jordan Poole. You got rid of all these people for him. Like, the loyalty to Draymond, I don't understand it.
I'm gonna love. So that's where the issue is gonna come between Jimmy and Draymond.
So that was yes. I'm curious about that.
That's
dynamic.
why I said that. That's why I was bringing up Draymond. Like, that's going to be the issue. That's going to be because Draymond's supposed to be the person. He's the heart. He's the drive. He's the engine. Jimmy's the heart, the drive, the engine too. Look what and that's the difference. Draymond, you're the heart and drive and engine, but you can yell at other people and you can't do the shit yourself. Jimmy is the heart drive and he can do the shit himself. So it's just like, that's the difference between the two. And like I said, that's going to him butting heads with Kevin Durant. I still can't believe it. We won before you, we'll win after you. And honestly, unfortunately, Draymond was right.
Yeah. He was. Yeah.
I was right. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, though, as a teammate, you don't say that. You know what I mean? So that's where he's wrong. You know what I mean? So it's just like if I was Golden State, man, I would have moved him a long time ago where he had value. But at the same time, probably why I'm not a GM.
Yeah.
Probably never be a GM now because of Nico.
Exactly. You'll see that name is going right in the trash.
No. I'm good. We're good.
You're right, because that's when we should have known when Draymond kind of won the showdown with KD. Because you figure how many other guys have gone at a star like that, a finals MVP, and not just been, all right, well, you're going to end up playing for the Raptors or the Wizards or whoever. We'll send you away. Yeah, like, you're going. So that's when we should have known. How has it been on teams you've been on when you've had guys who seem more volatile, at least from the outside looking in, like a Steven Jackson, a Ron, playing together? How has that locker room dynamic worked itself out?
So the team, I only put on one NBA team, but that team, that locker room dynamic, it was everybody was young. It was very immature, what was spoken about most of the time, very not focused. But it was a lot, like you saw in that Dallas in the Palace, we were protecting each other. So, like, no matter what problems we had in that locker room, I can say it's a problem almost in any locker room, but it's not the same everywhere. I always saw it, like, this is my brother, this is my, like, we're here together, and I'm here with this person. You know, with, like, we were talking about the volatility and stuff, you know, it's, there are things that just start organically happening, you know, like with Ron, you know, like his volatility, like there'd be times where like he'd be going off and everyone would just get up and just walk out, you know, we're no point of being here, let's just leave, you know, like, you know, stuff like that. And for Draymond, there's probably already just unwritten protocols, you know what I'm saying? So a person like Jimmy might do well in this environment, you know? So, like I said, it's just weird. Just looking at, like I said, if I don't know, on my team we had volatile people who I don't know if someone on my team would have ever made a comment to another one of my teammates like Draymond made to KD. I don't know if that would have. I don't know, and if there was, there would have been a fight.
Yeah,
like it wouldn't have been like what you say. It'd be like middle of the huddle. They would have been fighting. So it's just like, I don't know. That's why it's like where the fan base is turning away. I'm like, guys, don't y'all remember the slogan NBA on TNT is about the drama? That's what we're about to be getting back here in a little bit. The drama, it's that, and there's some drama coming. You're going to have some angry people around this league here shortly. I mean, if you're a Dallas fan, I feel sorry for you. You literally had Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. You had a generational superstar, and you didn't lose him. You gave him away. That's even worse. You can lose someone. Luka doesn't want to sign with us because he wants to go a bigger market. Oh, whoa. You gave him away. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he looked sick too. He looked like, okay, I'm happy to be in LA, but he did appear to truly love being a Dallas Maverick.
I think he did. I think he saw it. You look at the culture of Dallas. You had Dirk, you had Steve. They've always loved that international basketball flavor, flair, and brand. Luka was in heaven there.
Yeah.
You know, like he's in heaven there. It's like it would be like having like Michael Jordan's son playing in Chicago. You know, like your perfect fan base there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like having LeBron James' son playing in L.A. If he was playing in Cleveland, that would be different. You know, if Brian got drafted by Cleveland, he was going through that. That'd be completely different. Home fans, but Luka, man, I could. That dude, that guy probably already picked out a plot there in Dallas. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he like I said, we're going to end up talking about this again.
Yeah,
anyway,
we're going to keep circling back. Don't worry. For the Heat side of the Golden State trade, the Jimmy Butler trade, what is it with the Heat? I feel like they've been in on every superstar since the big three left, and just they got Jimmy, but then nothing else. Is Pat Riley, has this GM game just kind of passed him by?
I am currently too close to Pat Riley to speak ill of him because he's the most gangster person to ever live.
That's true. I forgot about that. Stay safe. Stay safe.
But Pat Riley, honestly, he's old school. He's an old school player. GM. He even beefed with Shaq. So Pat Riley is Pat Riley, and he's going to be Pat Riley. If there was a younger GM, I think potentially this wouldn't have been like this. On the Heat side. But if you look at the Heat, for years, the Heat needed size. And they literally kept Udonis Haslem on the roster for no reason. And stupid stuff like that lost them championships. If you wanted to keep Haslem around, give him a coaching job. You could pay him exactly the same amount you wanted to pay him as a player, as a coach, Like, if you wanted to keep him around, that's basically what he was at that point. And when you look at their losses, it's because they were tiny. That's why they lost, because they were tiny. So it's just like what's wrong with the Miami Heat? It might be Riley. It might be the old school ways. It might be time to open up a new playbook. But when you look at what they got now, Tyler Hero, his last name says Hero, but. You know what I mean? Like who are you saying is the dude now? Wiggins? Wiggins hasn't been the dude since Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
He wasn't even the dude there,
Maybe I know, let's see, Bam Adebayo.
Bam 6'7"?
Let's see what they've got him listed at 6'9".
6'9"?
And I do think he's underrated. But
he's a good player.
I think he's a really good player. Yeah,
but small. In a 7-game series, he's too small.
Yeah,
that's the thing. In a 7-game series, he's just too small. If the Heat had size in the bubble, I think they would have won it. If the Heat had size, they just got picked apart because they were just too small. But yeah, Wiggins is a good player. But if you look at it, is the ball going to go through him exclusively? I can't imagine that it would, but yeah.
And I know they like the young kid, the rookie Khalil Ware. I will give him a shout out, but I mean, he's still a ways off, I believe. But potential, he's a 7-footer, but I do think he's a little ways off. I don't know. I feel like they're just kind of stuck in that no man's land where you're not really good enough to truly compete, but you're not bad enough. And I don't even know if they have any picks left or whatever to draft anybody, to bottom out.
Yeah.
So I think it's a tough spot for them. Spo is a coach. He makes things happen sometimes, but I think this is really they're in a tough spot. I think
Spo is the only coach to survive LeBron James. So he needs to write a book. Somehow he survived LeBron.
Yeah,
but
that's his next career when he's tired of dealing with Pat doing all this.
Oh man, Eric Spoelstra's a really good coach, smart guy. But that team itself, when you look at so people want the Heat to be good. People want the Heat to win because they're Miami. Miami's awesome. It's fun. It's cool to be there. The problem with that situation in Miami, it's when you look at the superstars that they've brought down post Shaq, you got the LeBron, you got the Wade, you got Bosh, you got some championships. That is your model. Buy your championships. That's not what they're doing. So it's like they're off their model. And also, they're off their rocker a bit in my regards because, honestly, this is the thing. Jimmy Butler says, hey, I want an extension. We'll think about it. We got all these other things, but we'll talk about it later. Dude straight up just said, nah, no way. You know what I mean? Different. It's just a different conversation. There's respect that's supposed to go both ways.
You mentioned Dwayne Wade. He ended up in Chicago and Cleveland because of it.
Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Dwayne Wade, the person that's an ugly statue.
That's pretty bad.
Statue in front of your building. And this is how you treated him.
I thought that was PJ Tucker, the statue, but it turns out so.
It doesn't
I thought
like
that's what he was doing. I thought they had bronzed him up and put him outside there. Turns out still in the league. So good for PJ.
PJ Tucker, bubble PJ Tucker was unstoppable. Then he hurt his foot. And like I said, I didn't even know when I saw him on the trade, I was like, am I about to get traded? I thought he was just pulling out names.
And people might not remember. I remember watching him at Texas play the 4 and the 5.
Yeah.
And just dominating people. Then I think he went overseas and was like, I gotta get a little bit of a jump shot and learn that corner 3. And I don't know, that dude, big PJ Tucker fan, but I was stunned to see that he was still in the league. I was stunned.
When I saw that, I was like, because I still remember Bubble PJ 50, like, oh my gosh, this guy, who is this guy? Bubble PJ. Then he hurt his foot that next year, and it was just like, I didn't even know what happened. Like literally, I didn't know what happened to him until I saw the thing. Now that's why I was like, maybe I can get traded.
So you could be the big man that they need. Just walk on right down there.
Oh yeah.
In the Pat's office and say, hey, y'all need a 7-footer. I'm good to go. I walked into
Pat Riley's office and he remembered me. He's just going to call security. That's all that's going to happen there. I actually worked out for them, one of my few ones, and a vertical jump and like clear the top one. You got like a 46-inch vertical. And he goes, you hit the top one, I'll draft you. And I was like, I'll do my damnedest, but I ain't getting up there.
I'll see you on the visitors' locker room, Pat. That's hilarious. Okay, well, let's move on to something that I think this trade we almost started with. If your last name hadn't been Harrison, we probably would have. The De'Aaron Fox trade. Spurs got De'Aaron Fox, Jordan McLaughlin. Kings get Zach LaVine, Sidi Sissoko, 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks. The Bulls get Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and their 2025 pick back.
Yeah.
What do you think about these returns? Kind of feels like the Spurs took advantage of everybody. They were like,
yeah. I mean, so like when you look at, what the other Harrison trade that he put together, that Luka thing, and you see all the components of everybody moved, no one got better,
Yeah.
But in this trade, honestly, in my opinion, De'Aaron Fox is really, really good. But Zach LaVine being in the Kings, I think they're going to have the same opportunities that they had with De'Aaron Fox there.
Okay.
So I don't think that. I think Zach LaVine's a superstar that just never happened.
He's had a huge season, by the way. A guy who kind of went the other way of Jimmy, where he said at the beginning, look, I want to be traded, but I'm going to come in, I'm going to do everything. He's had an incredible year. Mm-hmm. And he's been wanting to leave, but he's had an incredible year.
And Jimmy gets to go to Golden State and Zach goes to the Kings.
Sacramento. So kind of, there's your lesson. There's your lesson there. You want to know why guys do this? This is why.
I mean, like I said, with Zach, I've always thought he was a superstar, hyper talented player. I don't know why it didn't really happen there at the Bulls, but I think the Kings still have the same capacity. If they were to win, if they were supposed to win like 50 games this year, they may only win 48, or they probably could win like 52. You know what I mean? The winner of all of it is the Spurs. Getting De'Aaron Fox next to Wemby with CP3 there. CP3's there is just training everyone there how to play. I mean, this dude is a general. When I saw that they picked him up, I was like, oh, he's so old. I said, that's exactly who needs to be next to Wemby. I saw Wemby play his rookie year. They didn't know how to get him the ball. They didn't know how to run it to him. I was sitting there just throw it to him. Just no. You don't shoot ever. You just throw it to him. That's what Paul does, making sure the ball goes where it's supposed to go. And De'Aaron Fox being around somebody like that is just going to make him better. The Spurs, to me, if I don't know what place they're in, they're going to make the playoffs now with this trade. I could see them being a contender for a championship. They got to keep every piece of their young talent that they brought in that were contributing. Zach Collins had to go, but I mean, at the same time, Zach Collins means Wemby's on the floor. You want Wemby on the floor all night, so I mean, I just that trade. You see people getting better. You know, I think Zach and the Kings are going to have a better opportunity to be Zach. You know, like I said, I've always thought he was a great player. And then you have the with the Bulls, they need a lot of help. You know, they've never been able to get past the ghost of Jordan. And we were living in Indy with the ghost of Reggie. People literally just miss Reggie for like 2 years. I would say that it was just people just miss Reggie. You know, I don't think that the Bulls have ever been able to get out that shadow of Jordan. You even saw even when Rose was there,
they got so close, and then blew out his knee, and it was like,
you know. So it's just like you have a bit of in that trade, a bit of people trying to balance their roster and make moves for the future. You know, you can't make that claim trade, on any level.
That's definitely not a future trade. Anytime you get rid of your 25-year-old for a 32-year-old, you're not thinking long term. You're not.
Does Luka have diabetes or something? You know what I mean? Those are the questions you have to start asking. With moves like this, does he have a rare genetic disease no one knows about that manifests at 26? These are the questions, because that move made no sense. But the De'Aaron Fox, De'Aaron Fox wasn't fitting in well in the Kings. The Kings got equal value when it comes to player, and on the role of that team, a scorer, a person they got equal value replacement with that, and the Spurs got better. And the Bulls are just, like I said, they're just still trying to. They're waiting until you can legally clone someone. Then they're going to clone Mike. That's what the Bulls are doing.
We got him back, everybody. No, so I do think that people forget that LaVine and DeRozan, they had some good times working together in Chicago. I think it might have been DeRozan's first year there, and everyone was talking about he was done, this, that, and the other. And he came out and put up 28 a game or something ridiculous. It might have been one of the last times we probably saw LaVine in an all-star game too. Mm-hmm. So I feel like people are kind of shitting on that pairing, but that pairing to me, that has worked in the past. It's just a matter of making it work in Sacramento. But I'm trying to wrap my head around what the Bulls got other than they got away from Zach LaVine. And they're clearly blowing it up in Chicago, but man, y'all couldn't have got nothing better than that. I don't know.
In that trade, definitely the loser Chicago, that's them losing now,
Yeah,
but
yes.
I could see them making moves. Back to that other trade, both these teams are just so future effed, with the lack of picks and all this other stuff. It's just so hard to see a reason there. But here you see it. LaVine wasn't happy, Fox wasn't happy. You have all these people that are now in new places, and you're making it happy. Jimmy wasn't happy. I'm pretty sure Wiggins is sad. I would be sad with Golden State. But. Clay probably called him, was like, "Yeah, I told you, they have no loyalty."
Yeah, I don't. And to your point about the Bulls, you do have to bottom out. We just talked about Miami kind of being stuck in this gray area. So probably it's been a long time coming with the Bulls. I keep checking my phone to see who else is being moved. Nothing super big yet. So I do want to ask you about another weird trade. We talked about Anthony Johnson, Charleston guy, another Charleston guy, Khris Middleton.
Oh, he got traded.
Traded to the Wizards with AJ Johnson. The Bucks get Kyle Kuzma and Patrick Baldwin Jr., who they've already moved, and a second-round pick. That was to get Milwaukee under the second apron. I don't do a ton of salary cap talk on here because whatever. I prefer talking about what's on the court. We'll let Pat Riley and them handle that. And Nico Harrison. But I know Khris Middleton's been hurt. I know he's not what he was. I am not a Kyle Kuzma believer, and I do not understand. I understand the need to try to figure out how to make money and save money and all this. Could you not have gotten something more for Khris Middleton than Kyle Kuzma? I was just watching Kuzma on a team that is terrible. I think they've had 2 16-game losing streaks this season. They're losing in a game. This man like hits a layup and starts doing a TikTok dance or something. I'm like, bro.
There you go, Kyle.
Time and place.
His outfits.
Oh my gosh, the most impractical. Where am I gonna find a size 7XL sweater that was knitted out of? I can't even use my hands.
So when the Bucks won it, Middleton was supposed to be a nobody. Some dude, like a nobody, basically. And he came out there, and honestly, he was just as valuable as Giannis in that championship run. Then you got injuries with him that came up. And then, as you kind of saw, what he was doing was kind of being filled by other people. So, like, in my opinion, Khris Middleton is like the master of nothing but good at everything type player. And that's why I see him able to be moved for Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma just has a bigger name than him. Khris Middleton's a 10 times better player than Kyle Kuzma.
It's so crazy. Like, it blew my mind when I saw it. That was right up. That wasn't quite Luka-esque with that trade, but I was like, damn, Kuzma?
No, I just saw. Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, I wouldn't. There's very little I'd give up for Kyle Kuzma. But like I said, with Khris Middleton, you have to respect the run in that championship because the Bucks came from nowhere basically that year to win it. And then you had those injuries, and now with Dame there, Chris's shots are gone, essentially. So if you're going to have someone come fill that third player role, Kuzma, that's exactly the kind of role you want him to play. Put no pressure on him, please. You know what I mean? Please don't put any pressure on him. But, if you want someone to come in and play that, you can find a better person. And Kuzma's actually been healthier than Middleton.
Yeah.
It's just like I can see that trade. That trade's not crazy. I wouldn't make it, but it's just that trade's not crazy. I would keep Middleton over Kuzma. Equal money, you know what I mean? Equal money, I'd keep Middleton over Kuzma.
If I tap into my optimism a little bit, which typically isn't that hard to do, but something about a Kyle Kuzma for Khris Middleton trade shut that off. But if I tap back into it a little bit, Kuzma, when he has strong locker room leadership, has shown he can be an adult at times, and he can play the role that he's supposed to play. Like when he was, so you're hoping that Giannis and Dame kind of fill that role for him. And then on the Wizards side, it's good to get an adult in the room and a solid vet like Khris Middleton. And like, hey, maybe we wear normal size sweaters and we don't celebrate when we're losing.
We bring in a winner. We bring in a winner. You know what I mean? And that's what Middleton is. He's a winner. Against odds, he's a winner. So you're bringing him into a situation where he's against all odds to be good there. I mean, I haven't even heard a Washington Wizards storyline this year. Other than they suck.
Yeah, that's it. That's the story.
I mean, it's just it's for Khris Middleton. It's a chance for him to be the dude. For Jordan Poole, he's gonna have a measuring stick. If I'm not better than him, who the fuck do I think I am? Sorry for French. Who do I think I am?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I mean. I wouldn't make the trade, but I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's horrible.
I mean, we've heard of her crazier trades. We've talked about them, haven't we?
Yeah, one of my relatives made it. Oh, no.
No. So I think having that context, I bet GMs are like, whew, at least I can point and say, well, Nico Harrison traded Luka for AD. So I just traded Khris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma. That's really nothing.
I should get a bonus. You know what I mean?
Extend me something.
That's not a bad trade. It really isn't. I wouldn't make it. I said it 1,000 times already, but it's not a bad trade.
All right, and then Brandon Ingram traded from the Pelicans to the Raptors for Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick. I really can't figure out what the Raptors are doing. I thought they were doing a rebuild, and they have a lot of good young wings, but we've seen some flashes out of Ingram, so maybe it makes
an all-star.
Yeah, like he's been really good.
Like a season ago, he was an all-star.
Yeah, and I think he's a guy who does need to change your scenery too. So I've been talking myself into it. But any thoughts from you on Ingram to the Raptors?
Ingram, he's 27 years old. I think he's a very, very, it's like 6'10", 6'11" point guard, basically. Super talented. On the Raptors, he has to be the dude, you know? And I don't really think that's his skill set. I think he has a bag of tricks to show off in that role. But I don't think that's not where I'd want him. You know, the Raptors, like you're saying, you know, DeRozan gone, Van Fleet gone, like everyone that I knew of and stuff, and it's a new team. You know, and on that team you have R.J. Barrett. When he was in New York, I thought the kid got no respect. I thought he was a really good player. And same thing up there, no respect for a really good player. I don't know how well Ingram's going to fit into their offense because they kind of don't even have one. And maybe that's why Ingram's there, because he's kind of like a instant offense kind of guy. He's an ISO dude, you know what I mean?
Someone go get a bucket.
Yeah, so it's just like, and with the Pelicans, I mean, they need to get Zion. They need to get Zion out of New Orleans. I lived there. I lived there. I lived in the CBD. You can't throw a rock and not hit a good restaurant. You can't. You know, like that dude needs to go somewhere else. So, you know, if they're rebuilding, getting picks and getting movable contracts, you know, expiring contracts and things like that, I mean, that's what they have to do. You know, you get basically, in my opinion, you know, AD was their golden stud that they should have tried to build around. They didn't get a chance to. And then Zion, they're like, oh, we can do that, but I don't see how. If Dallas gets rid of Luka, a 5-time MVP, for health concerns, like that means the GM for the Pelicans is already on the phone with everyone in the NBA. Just I'll take a toaster. You want Zion? I'll give you a toaster for him. Like, I mean, he has health concerns, just like Luka. He's worthless. I mean, it's just like, yeah.
I was heading right there too, because you're Nico Harrison. Do you look over at Zion and like, well, I don't want to get stuck with that problem. Let me call up my guy Rob, because I've been seeing Luka at all these barbecue places around town. Let me call Rob up. They got all kinds. It's very healthy out in LA. He might go vegan. I don't know, but it's not my problem. Let's move him so I don't get stuck with a Zion. Maybe that.
Yeah, remember when I said like does Luka have like diabetes or something? You know what I mean? Like those are the type of questions that you have to ask when this goes down. Trade like that, you know. I'm surprised Zion wasn't moved.
Very.
Like I'm. When you look at like, hey, this is what you got for Luka. So you want an all-star, some role players, and a first-round pick for an all-star. So for Zion, you could probably get him for a couple picks, right? So I mean, it's just like a lot of teams would jump on that. Send him to Phoenix and get KD. You know what I mean? Do something like that. You know, like offer him to Los Angeles for LeBron publicly. You know what I mean? Like, do it all out in the open. He knows it's going down, and what is he going to do? Eat some more food and not play? It's going to happen anyway. So, so it's just like just move them and be public about it. You know, every game you go to, just have a sign for sale. Like, just stand above him.
Here we go. Yep.
You know, Luka deserved the respect of the Mavericks and didn't get it. Zion does not deserve the respect of the Pelicans. And he, in my opinion, I don't think he's going to get moved like that, you know. But it's definitely they should move. They should move Zion. Trade him for a sandwich. Unfortunately, Zion will eat it before you get it.
Yeah.
but at the same time, he. When I remember seeing that kid come out of college, and I said this: "You're playing the wrong sport, son. You should play football." I mean, he's. You have like Garrett.
It's exactly who I was thinking.
Basketball player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Good basketball player. Julius Peppers, really good basketball player. But he was built for football. Zion, bud, you're built for football. Like you are. Take that kid at tight end. I mean, like
he would be unreal.
Flank him out, take him out a step. He's fast. He's that big. He's athletic. At tight end, game over. He doesn't have to block. I mean, he's not really a physical dude. You know what I mean? So maybe he wouldn't want to block. He didn't even have to.
Just like the receiving tight end, just go Antonio Gates it up.
Exactly. So I mean, that's what I thought. I was like, wrong sport, but made a lot of money. He's a great player. He's a really good player. I wouldn't want to guard him. But a little bowling ball out there,
Yeah.
I don't want to guard him. But at the same time, when you look at, like I said, hey, Luka's unhealthy. That's why we moved him. That Dallas GM started to sweat. I mean, the Pelican GM just started to sweat at that point.
I didn't know you could do that.
He's like, is he reading my mind? Like, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, man. All right, so we're going to go rapid fire, a couple more trades. Does it move you or does it not move you?
Okay.
Starting with DeAndre Hunter going from the Atlanta Hawks to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's had a really good season off the bench. I think he's averaging 19. Cavs get Hunter. They've had a great year as a team. Hawks get Karis LeVert, George Niang, 3 second-round picks, and 2 swaps.
I mean, honestly, I think they gave up too much, Cleveland, with the pick side. But, LeVert was lost in a sea of guards. So I mean that's not a loss for Cleveland. And honestly, he said, the kid in Atlanta's having a really good year so far. So that trade moves me because it's Eastern Conference or Eastern Conference. So like you're basically those teams are basically saying, I'm sending you someone to make you worse so I can beat you.
Yeah. It kind of seems like Cleveland's going for it this year. I mean, they are going for it. Yeah, they got a great team. So. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that fit works, but I respect it. When it's your time, you got to go because you never know when your GM might trade your superstar the very next season. So,
yeah.
All right, the other one we've got the Lakers. They had a need at center. They get Mark Williams from the Hornets. The Hornets get Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish, a 2030 pick swap, and a 2031 first round pick. Does it move you?
It moves me as another bad move for the Lakers. Getting a center is good. They need size. But Connect is that perfect type of player you would want around the Luka. And the person I wouldn't want there would be Austin Reeves. Because Luka, he's the poor man's Luka, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like... But at the same time, it just moves me because it now looks like Lakers are grasping at straws a bit, and they're losing sight of value. Connect to me, if you drafted him, that's like Duncan down in Miami, a player like that. He's a perfect kid. He's athletic, plays defense, and he's smart, like a smart basketball player. I mean, honestly, he should be up for like rookie of the year level type things, like conversation. I mean, he's a rookie. People forget about that. So, I mean, it's just like, I don't know why you'd move him. But they also got rid of Scottie Pippen Jr. too.
That kid was really good. Yeah.
So it's just like the Lakers right now, they need to look and evaluate talent. They've been able to have blinders on, having LeBron around, but now they need to take those blinders off and start evaluating talent. That's a poor trade. That is a very poor trade.
I bet Rob Pelinka can do no wrong right now, though. I bet he's like,
yeah.
He's like, all right. And so I got Mark Williams for Dalton Connect, but also have I mentioned that we got Luka Doncic just because I'm so cool and Nico Harrison likes me?
We stole.
We just robbed them blind.
Stole.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. So
we
he's
didn't
probably
have to have a ski mask or a gun.
no. We just got him. So to me, man, if I'm Rob, I'm just doing everything. I'm going wild right now. Like I don't even.
He looks like Rob Lowe.
He looks
like Rob Lowe, the actor.
exactly
Yeah,
like
I thought it was Rob Lowe. I was like,
It's
what is
just-
Rob Lowe, the actor, doing involved in this trade?
crazy. And just reading how basically both guys, Rob Pelinka and Nico Harrison, pretty much
They
have
grew
their
up together.
jobs because of Kobe Bryant, and then it pays off for the Lakers. And that's
Mhm.
kind of how, like you were saying earlier, the loyalty to Kobe, you don't expect it to pay off this far down the road.
No,
But it works out somehow. It's incredible.
loyalty to Jerry West.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry got you. You know, I mean, it's like I said, it's if people can understand the NBA, it used to kind of just be like a good old boys network, and then it got kind of infiltrated, and now it's getting back to that good old boys network, and you're going to start seeing these types of moves again.
Man, I'm trying to see if there's any more trades, but none of these trades even move me. So you got James Wiseman going from the Pacers to the Raptors. I don't even see who they're getting for him. Marcus Smart going from the Grizzlies. That might be a bigger move, but Shams has not updated his Twitter feed. I don't know. I think that we got all the good stuff out of the way early, which is good because
We got all the Luka in.
whew, man.
But
So-
the last trade, the one before Smart, you said Wiseman?
Yeah, James Wiseman, who was the
Center.
Yeah.
I loved Wiseman's game. I thought when he went to Golden State, I was like, dude, you're in the greatest place ever. All you have to do is get a rebound and block shots. Your life is going to be amazing, bud. You know what I mean? But that didn't pan out for him there. I didn't even realize he was on the Pacers.
yeah, he went to Detroit and then the Pacers. I think this was his first season with the Pacers.
He's in there, I think so. Yeah, James.
So I think this is probably something that you have a lot of insight into how important is it to find the right fit for you organizationally, because I know they drafted Wiseman second overall
Mhm.
during the Steph injury season that we were talking about.
Mhm.
When it looked like, okay, we might be headed towards a rebuild, then the timeline shifts when Steph and Clay both come back and their contenders don't really have time to develop him. What is that like when there's a guy and it's like, yeah, we hold your future in our hands,
With our hands,
but
yeah.
go sit over there, please.
I mean, I kind of felt that way in my career a bit. You know, like I'd get to play a lot when Jermaine got hurt, and then the second he got back, I'm on the bench. It's not like I'm like getting used. It's here you go sit in the corner again. You know, it's not even like you're still getting in the rotation. You know, I would say for every player you're developing, it's your responsibility, 100%. So you can't like blame the organization or things like that. But with Wiseman, I think it's exactly what you were saying. I think they were looking for the future. Clay and Steph came back and they were like, okay, you know, let's just keep this rolling, you know, and kind of put Wiseman in the corner. But like I said, he has the ability to develop his own game, and he has it. You know, he has not gotten much better since he got drafted. So I mean, I love the kid. I thought he was going to be one of the bigs. I think he still can. He still has time, and hopefully, like we were talking about fit. You know, 2 Colorado draft picks. You know, me and Chauncey. Early Chauncey Billups' career, you'd say he's a bust, and then he found a team that he fit on, and he won the championship, got final MVP. I never got that chance, never got the opportunity to find a team to fit, but I didn't fit on the Pacers. I was one of 5 7-footers at one point, you know, and I just finding an opportunity to be able to do that's a difference between a superstar and a bench player. You could have a bench player on a team be a superstar somewhere else. I mean, it's legitimately just that fit.
Man, that's just so wild. And Chauncey, to your point, I believe he was traded as a rookie.
Oh, Celtics. Yeah.
Yep. I think because he was
Rick Pitino drafted him.
Yeah, it was like a third or fourth overall pick.
Number 4.
And then he gets traded in his rookie season. Yeah, Rick Pitino, he had some of that Nico Harrison in him with some of his moves.
Rick Pitino had the problem of, I'm really, really good being able to boss kids. I can't deal with men.
Here's some grown men for you. Yeah.
That's the difference. Belichick is going to have a great time at North Carolina. Belichick's going to have a great time in college, especially now that you can just pay people. He's like,
yeah.
With that, it's more of a. It's just more of like the times they are changing a bit. It's interesting. 2025, PJ Tucker's still in the league.
Right? Whew. I can't believe it. All right. Well, I think we've covered it all. Nothing else is broken. We are almost an hour past the deadline, so we might be safe.
Sometimes you have that next day midnight thing where they had to wait till the ink dry, but
that would be so annoying. But
I have a feeling with this. I mean, Nico Harrison's out there. I think he's probably
no telling what that man is cooking up. Oh Lord, yeah. I wish, give me the confidence of him to just live life like a madman. Give me the confidence of him to walk around the city of Dallas right now. Like, right? I'd be cooking all my meals.
Maybe that's why that guy thought I was Nico. Like, there's no way he stayed in Dallas after doing that.
He left town. He's on the run. No, that would make more sense than what he's doing. That press conference was ridiculous too.
Was there a gun pointed at Jason Kidd?
It kind of looked like it.
I wanted him to report like, Jason, are you okay? If you're okay, blink twice, please. I think Jason Kidd was told this, and he was like, whatever, dude, stop messing with me. I have better stuff to do. You know what I mean? He's like, no, come on. We're at the press conference right now. And that's what Jason Kidd's face looked like. Ooh. Like he was just walking down the hall. Nico Harris was like, no, we got a press conference coming in right now. We just traded Luka. He's like, what?
I cannot even imagine what it would be like to be Jason Kidd and get that news.
I'd be so mad.
Oh man, I would.
I went to the NBA Finals the year before. My team literally just yelled. They literally just started gelling, even with Luka's injury, which was almost a blessing because it allowed those other people to be like, "Oh, this is what I need to do." I can't, They were just starting to gel, and that trade happened. And we circled back to it again. But it's like you said, I remember someone telling me about it, and I was like, what is this, NBA 2K? And then I checked NBA 2K. You can't even make that trade.
Can't do it. This man is broken technology. So,
So we're not in the Matrix. We've proven we're not in the Matrix.
No, we are not.
That's perfect.
That's hilarious. But no, all right. Well, man, I think we'll wrap it up. This has been a lot of fun talking about this stuff and trying to figure out what the hell is going on. I don't know if we've gotten any closer, but we've talked it out some. Once again, the floor is yours. Plug and promote anything you want to talk about, and then we'll wrap it up.
Oh, I mean, we were talking about last time with my company, Token Hi-Fi, building our system, selling our tokens, but still the same thing. Everybody just be nice to one another. Just try to make someone else's day better. If everyone takes that approach, maybe that circle of violence that always ends up happening. You wake up with a bad day, then you yell at this person yells at that. Maybe that circle of violence breaks down a bit. But just like my goal during the day around here is a lot of homeless people, and like my goal is while I'm walking around and stuff, and I'll ask them like, "Do you need something?" You know what I mean? They always ask for booze, and I'm like, I don't want to get you booze because it's probably why you're on the street, so you shouldn't be drinking it.
What's option number 2?
Exactly. And if I'm grabbing something to eat, and there's someone there, I'll, sometimes, if I don't have extra money, I'll just give them what I ordered. I can miss a meal, you know what I mean? So it's just like, just try to do something nice. People don't have nice things, and when they get them, maybe they'll start appreciating more, and their life changed, and then they change someone else's life. And it's just passing good down. That's like I said. I would love for that to be the end result of anything. So that's what I'll plug.
Go do something nice for someone else. It's as simple as that. And you know what? I always feel so much better when I do that anyways. When I'm like being selfless, that makes me feel good. So there is like a selfish value. If you're a selfish person, you can still be selfish. Go do something nice. Yeah, just go do something nice for someone else. I do believe that like we need a lot of that, and I do think it makes a difference. So, man, always a lot of fun.
Maybe that's what Nico Harris
was doing. He was like,
doing
Rob,
something nice for somebody else.
Rob, you're having a hard time over there. It hasn't really worked out. Some of your moves. Why don't I do something for you, buddy? So someone out there, go do something nice for Nico Harrison. I got a feeling he probably needs it. Always good talking to you. We will certainly have you back on for sure. This has been another episode of Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, review, share, leave your comments, all that good stuff. No episode on Sunday because I gave you this special edition with David Harrison. No relation to Nico Harrison. What more could you want? So I will catch y'all later.